It's just another podcast called Picking It Out. Yeah, it's just another damn podcast. Gonna be picking it out. Ain't no telling what kind of shit we're gonna talk about. Yeah, we got the Duke boy in the house. And we're gonna be picking it out. Hey, y'all. You like that?
Yeah, that was great. Well,
my name's Andrew Pope, and you're watching and listening to Picking It Out. Appreciate y'all continuing to tune in. Real excited this week. Got a good friend of mine and good old boy, I guess. Mr. John Schneider in the house.
woo!
Well, actually, he's in his house, but, you know.
I'm in my house. I'm in my house. It's amazing that you can do this. And not that the technology is available. It's just amazing that you can actually.
I know. Well, I mean, this is like my 5th episode, I think. 5th.
Oh, wow.
And it really is amazing, isn't it? I mean, who would have thunk it?
It's cool. I'm watching RVers drive down the driveway. You know, here at the studio, we have an RV park now in the back.
Okay.
I think we probably have 10 of them back there, and there's kind of a halfway point between somewhere and somewhere else. And the folks I just met are on their way down to Florida. They came from California.
I'm glad they left there.
I told them I did my time in California, and California to me is like a really nice pair of boots that don't fit.
I love that.
Yeah.
A really nice pair of boots that don't fit.
I'm gonna have to write that one down.
Oh man. You know, it's like it's crazy, man. I mean, even though we're sitting here like this, like the technology thing is crazy, but this is kind of where it's at now. I mean, I know you do a lot of press interviews, and this is kind of how this is the standard now, I feel like, don't you?
Oh yeah, I just did on New Year's Eve. I did Newsmax, and we did it this way. So in many regards, you know, before you used to have to fly to New York to spend the night and then get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So you go sit in a green room and drink god awful coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Be on Fox and Friends for 2.5 minutes, and then
right, battle
your way to the airport. So, you know, I think this is, you know, I miss hanging out with some of those people, not all of them, but some of the people. But this is great that we can do this. But consider this, folks, we can do this. We used to have to take, in order to do what we're doing right now, we needed a truck the size of Rhode Island and then a backup truck. And both of them had those dishes on them. So we could do a satellite feed. That was a number of years ago, but that's how it used to be. Today, we can do it out of our pockets, and yet we still can't count ballots.
Oh, man.
Somehow that's supposed to be okay.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
I'm
really.
going there. Yeah, I think, yeah, we did, you weren't here. You would have loved it. On New Year's Eve day, we did at high noon. We had about 20 people down by the creek here. And right straight up at high noon, we all shot we call it the Second Amendment Party. And we all shot one shot to let freedom ring, to get 2020 the hell out of here with a bang, and welcome 2021 in with our appreciation, a unified show of appreciation for our Second Amendment rights.
Love it.
So it was a good way to end a year and begin a new one.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Y'all are all the time doing something down there. I mean, for people that don't know, uh, Holden, Louisiana, it's right outside of Baton Rouge. You know, John and his wife Alicia have a basically a whole. It's an old campsite, right? An old church youth camp.
It's an old YMCA camp. Yeah,
Old YMCA camp. Okay.
YMCA camp in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, I think. And then it kind of fell apart. And then in the 80s and 90s, it was a church camp again. And then it fell apart again. And then I got a hold of it in 2011 to shoot a horror comedy called Smothered. So we shot that here. I fell in love with it and got a hold of the place. And Alicia and I have now made 11 movies since we met 7 years ago. So it's been pretty great, pretty darn great.
Yeah, you filmed so many things out there, and I've been out there a couple of times, and man, I mean, there's little what's it called? It's the Itsy, right? The Itsy house we stayed in, I think.
Itsy,
Got
Itsy.
got the Cash House.
Three more of those they're called park homes. We've got three more of those coming, and we rent those out through Airbnb. So they're full right now too. And then we have three other ones. We've got the Animal House, the Cuckoo's Nest, and the Cash House. Those are full because a lot of people have taken advantage of this non-working time. A couple I just met, it's not unusual to hear that people sold their house and bought a motorhome or a fifth wheel trailer, and now they're going out to see the country.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is great. And that used to be a retired person's game, but not anymore. You know, we're seeing people in their 30s and 40s who've just said, you know, this is too volatile for me. I want some security and I want to see the country. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 to see the country. I'm just going to go do it right now. And they're having a wonderful time. And like I said, a lot of people come from California. They're on their way to Key West. They just want to see everything. A lot of people are going from Key West back out to Oregon and Washington. Of course, they got to stop in California to pick up some fruits and nuts.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's that can mean several different things.
Crazy people is what I mean. But yeah, so it's been a great time for us actually. And we did the album. So
yes.
We did Rock On. We did Stand On It, the movie. Where Hall in Hell is. Then we did a soundtrack album for Stand On It. So it's been really good. And Stand On It, my gosh, it outsold everything we've ever done in 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yep. Stand On It is a force to reckon with. So I'm very, very proud of that. And folks, if you don't know what that is, check it out. Look at the trailer. Go to cineflixdod.com. That's CINEFLIXDOD.com. Check out the trailer, rent the movie, or just take my word for it and go to johnschneiderstudios.com and buy it. It's great.
And I appreciate you recording a song in that movie.
Oh, it's great. Great song. I'm hauling hell and Bayou Bound. With that Hellcat
hammered down. Yes, sir.
Got good old Dixie honking loud and proud.
Yeah.
And if you don't like that, change the channel.
That's right.
If you're taking the rebel flag off the top of your car, please unsubscribe from my YouTube channel and my Facebook and whatever else is out there.
It's I don't.
Lee, and I get such a kick. I get so aggravated about people who feel that their First Amendment right, their freedom of speech means that they can curtail mine.
Mm-hmm.
The hell is that?
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. It's like, you know, we have cancel culture, which you've experienced that somewhat.
Yeah.
It could be worse, I guess, but I mean, it's,
Well, you don't
kind
have
of
to give
silly
in.
as hell now already. So
Yeah, you just don't have to give into it.
you don't.
Give into it, they win.
Yeah.
Uh, so just don't. And they're not very bright, and there's not that many of them really. I think they're one of the arts of war is to give your enemy the impression that you have greater numbers than you do. But the truth of it is, if you've got a beautiful complexion and one pimple on your nose, you think that all you are is a pimple on your nose. That's all you can see, right? So these folks are nothing more than a pimple on your nose. Leave them alone, and they will go away. Or
Right.
pick them and get it over with.
Oh man, Conway was right about you.
I love that. What a great, thank you. That's great. And thank you, Conway.
You know, back in those days, like it was so weird. I feel like because there were so many what Nashville used to call song people, song men. Buddy
Yeah.
Cannon, Bobby Bear, Conway was one. My God, I mean, just you could hear a song if you didn't write it. You could hear a song and you could just know, hey, that's a good song. It's written well. I want to record that. That's kind of the
Ditties.
yeah.
Conway told me that there's because I like to think of myself as somebody who can hear a great song, can recognize an exceptional song. Like your album, Stone on the One was the name of the album, has great songs on it. But
Thank
in
you.
my opinion, the tough part is differentiating between a great song and an exceptional song.
Mm-hmm.
My dog can tell the difference between a song that sucks and a song that's good.
Yeah.
But in between good and great is a little tougher, and great and exceptional is tougher yet. So for me, Stone on the One is a exceptional song. And all the other songs on there are no less than great. And there's probably an exceptional song or two on there for somebody else. But Stone on the One, my God, exceptional. And Conway said that. Conway said, the real ears, because that's how they used to put it. Do they have ears or not? Are those who can tell the difference between a great song and an exceptional song. So when I would go to Conway with a Bob McDill song, Bob McDill, Dickie Lee song, I just heard an old song of mine that they wrote called Somebody's Gonna Love Her, and it's exceptional.
Yeah.
He told me, he said, you've got ears, because Bob McDill and Dickie Lee don't write anything but great songs.
Mm-hmm.
But occasionally they'll screw up and write an exceptional. And he said, and you found them. Yes, I am. I'm talking to Andrew Pope. I'm on Andrew Pope's podcast.
Who we got here?
We got Jason in the other room.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
I don't know if I met you or not,
But yeah, that was. It's not hard because you either can or you can't.
yeah.
I don't think you can. It's like people. People who are great chefs usually have. It's not just taste buds, but they have the ability. They can tell the difference between spices.
Yeah.
I think naturally they can. From birth, they had some sort of a thing. And I think because I grew up listening to Conway, and I grew up listening to Johnny Cash. I grew up listening to later Cat Stevens and Jim Croce and Harry Chapin and Gordon Lightfoot and some of the greatest singer-songwriters of all time. I think that helped to train me or to build up whatever ears I already had, so that I could tell what was an exceptional song. Again, I underline this, for me.
Yeah.
Because there are there are amazing songs that only George Strait could have sung, and there are amazing songs that only Andrew Pope could have sung, and amazing songs only John Schneider could have sung. The key is knowing that that's your song. It's like Keith Burns wrote a song, and when I first heard it, I couldn't wait to do it, and I'm so glad I did. It's called "Cowboys Don't Get Old."
Oh, I love that.
And my God, Andrew, that is,
Keith wrote that.
yep,
That's a great song.
the best song as far as songs I've sung I'd say that and "Stone on the One" are two in the top three songs. Those are in the top three songs I've ever done.
Wow, that's a huge compliment, man.
Well, and I knew it when I heard him. I remember when Alicia and I listened to that CD you gave us the night before. We were listening to it, waiting in a line for breakfast, back when you could actually exercise your right of peaceful assembly over an omelet. We listened to that, and it was like, then it was a great song. This is a great song. This is a great song. But that came on. It was like, whoa, hang on a second. Damn.
Well,
we got to cut this song right away.
Well, you killed it, man.
Thank you. And "Coming To" is a great song.
I appreciate you cutting that too. That's on the CD, isn't it?
That's on. Yeah, it is. That's on
the new album. I need to get a copy of that. I haven't got a copy yet.
We were backstage, and you were up front, and you had done. I think you'd done two songs, and I was backstage, and people have a tendency to talk backstage, and you started "Coming To," and I can't remember who I told to shut up, but I said, "Would you shut up? Listen to this." And then you got to the part where you said, "I can't tell if it's Monday or Wednesday or June."
Yeah.
And then they didn't want to say anything anymore. It was like, what? Damn. So, yeah, you have a wonderful gift.
I appreciate that, man.
You're welcome.
You never forgot that song.
People.
Do what?
Right? Sharing it with people.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm sorry. Something just popped up. That Ted Cruz is leading at least no less than 6 senators to who've all agreed to object on the 6th to the swing states electoral college votes. We're living a very interesting time.
I'm telling you, man. And people are just kind of, accepting everything.
Well, sheep will do that, but sheep will also bite.
Yep.
So if you're going to be a sheep, and that's okay. If you're soft and fuzzy and you're a sheep, that's fine.
Soft and fuzzy.
Know that sheep can bite through a 2x4. And there's a time when you need to bare your sheep teeth and bite. And that's okay too. And the time is coming.
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen this year? When all this is settled, or the narrative is it's settled anyway, and people.
Well, I believe the narrative is wrong. I believe the narrative is desperate. Whoa! Look out!
There goes the beer can.
Oh! There goes the beer can.
Oh man! He had a beer can tripod, y'all. If you didn't know,
beer can tripod. I think what's going to happen is our Constitution is strong, our country is strong, and I don't think there's anybody out there on either side who really believes that there was no voter fraud. I believe there are two kinds of people in the world right now: people who know there were voter fraud and people who think they got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the immortal words, I can't remember who wrote The Gambler, but you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run.
Oh, yeah.
Never money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. So I think that the left is so used to being able to either outthink out mean or bully the right, because for some reason, and I believe this to be true, I believe that the right is by nature fair. Doesn't mean we don't get pissed off. It doesn't mean we don't, kick things and slam doors and we don't get our way, but we don't do it for all that long. And I don't believe we do it publicly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is actually will be the demise of the left, is their own narcissism. They are so confident right now that they got away with it, but they say that if you can't find the sucker at the table, it's you. Right? They've never tangled with anyone like Donald Trump.
No.
They've never tangled with anyone really like Rudy Giuliani or Jay Sekulow. These are not cancer. These are patient men. Mm-hmm. Who will, there's a wonderful saying, I'm sure your grandparents used it, give him just enough rope to hang himself with.
Yep, I sure did.
I think that's what's going on. Not just because I believe in our president, but because I believe in our Constitution. And I don't believe that someone who cheats or a group of people who are less than honest can possibly get away with it. I think our Constitution is stronger than that. I don't know how the tide is going to turn, but I believe it will. There are many. My limited understanding of how this works is, in order to get to a military court, you've got to exercise civil and criminal first. So once you have exhausted your civil opportunities and your criminal opportunities, there's only one left. Most people give up before they get to it. Mm-hmm. But that's military. So when we are in a military court situation, the military will look at the evidence, but we couldn't get to there unless civil and criminal had first been exhausted.
Right.
And have now been exhausted. So we'll see. I think very interesting times are coming up. I just read this morning that the president has declared, I don't know if it's official or if he just said it, but that they've changed the laws once again in Georgia. I think the judicial has changed the laws, the voting laws in Georgia with regard to mail-in ballots again since November. Knowing full well that is the responsibility and obligation of the, not of the judicial, but of the legislative. So back to the narcissism, back to the team that is so confident in the third quarter that they've already won, mm-hmm. that they no longer show up to play and they lose their ass. Right?
Yeah.
To me, that's what's going on. So I think on January 21st, we will have President Trump will be the president. In my perfect world, those who have disgraced the Constitution openly will go to jail for it. I do believe that cheating in an election is I know it's an offense. I know it's not legal. I think it's a federal offense. And I do think, because it's trying to undermine the freedom on which we stand, that it is an act of treason. I hope it's treated that way. Because we cannot afford we can't afford to be the country where people who violated the law were able to get away with it. Mm-mm. So, we'll see. We'll see what's happening. A whole lot smarter people than me are involved in that whole litigation process, or that whole legal process, or that chess game that they are playing. But I do know that the most exciting football games, the most exciting game when I used to watch football before they started taking a knee, are those games where someone wins in the last 3 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we never saw it coming. Yeah, well, tell you
Yeah.
who see it coming and who believed it could happen was the team who just kicked your ass.
Yeah.
You got to believe it the whole way.
Wh-
Otherwise, you don't believe it.
Why do you think that Hollywood and these elitist people are so obsessed with this whole narrative?
Um, there's a number of reasons why I think that is. The whole give people, I was brought up, give a man a fish, he eats for a day, teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's a lot of money in giving a man a fish.
Right.
There's a lot of money for me if I'm in the handout business and I can hand you $1,000 and make $100,000 doing it,
Mm-hmm.
then that's a test of your character. So I think what happens is that there's so many people making so much money by giving handouts that they don't want to damage that. And then the movie industry, because they want to feel like they're doing something other than just making movies, they want to feel like they're curing cancer.
Yeah.
They get involved with those people. And I'm not even saying those people are bad. It's just a matter of your character. If I can make more money by being philanthropic with your money, then I'm going to keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got that as a foundation. And then on top of that, if I can go out and work for 3 weeks and make $20 million, or by working with folks who work with the folks who are making a lot of money by being philanthropic with your money, or I can go spend everything I have like Alicia and I do, making movies that we really believe in, and risking everything to do it. Which am I going to do? Me, I'm going to keep doing what we're doing. And one of these days we'll be the ones making the $20 million, but we'll make it legitimately. It'll be us. It'll be ours.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But it's going to be hard for someone who makes $20 million a movie to buck the system, because then they may lose their cinchy jobs.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have.
Yeah.
Studios aren't making movies anymore. When all of this smoke clears politically, when all the smoke clears economically, when all the smoke clears medically, a lot of people who were big stars a year ago are going to be who?
Mm-hmm.
Especially those who bet on those who make a lot of money by being philanthropic with other people's money.
Mm-hmm.
Because we work, you work. We are the grease on the wheels here. And we don't appreciate it when people come in and take advantage of that. We don't want anyone, I'll quote Bo Duke, I don't like anyone who pollutes the well where I drink. What was the rest of that? I choose this life. Not because I don't know any better, but because I believe it is better. And I think there are more people who feel that way than who feel like the most work they want to do is pick up a cardboard sign and go to a corner, or go up to their mailbox and pick up a check.
Yeah. I do too.
There are people who would rather learn to fish than be given one.
Yeah. It's I don't know. My whole thing on it is, no matter what side you believe, you've got to look at what's happened and what's been presented. All of this evidence and these whistleblowers have just basically been dismissed and not even been looked at. That, to anybody with half of a brain with common sense, should say, ding, okay, something is not right with that. Why? What justifies not even looking into investigating something that, I mean, that's
because they don't want to lose.
Yeah.
They think they got away with it.
Yep.
You know, but they are a shoplifter headed to the car in the parking lot. It's just a matter of when is the store detective going to tap them on the shoulder. You know, it could tap them on the shoulder as soon as they left, but as soon as they leave, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I cell phone my kids. My mom is sick. My dog got run over by a train. I don't know, but there's some excuse. The closer you get to the car being January 20th, the more guilty you are. So I think that's what's going on. I really do. Remember, this is a man who has built hotels all over the world. And we've been to several of them. And there are people, the groundskeepers are happy. The folks working in the restaurants are happy. The folks at the front desk are happy. They're happy to have a job, and they're happy to be working for the organization they're working for. That, I've only seen that really one other time, working with Tyler Perry. Everybody at Tyler Perry Studios appreciates the opportunity to work hard for something they believe in. And I think that's fantastic. That's what you see. That's what I've seen at any Trump hotel or resort I've ever been to, before and after he was the president. And, you know, this is a guy that understands global politics or global economics because the world has been kissing his ass for decades.
Right. That's
so
true.
when he says, look, China did, you know, he has intimate understandings of the workings of China like really probably no one else, because they've been romancing him throughout their, what do they call it? The 100-year marathon. You know, they've been, Chinese folks are very patient. And we need to be a little more patient. The president is patient. He's not going to rush through this process because people want him to get on with it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. If I've got until January 20th, I'm going to take until January 20th. Now, if there's some point of law that makes it so I've got until March 15th, then you bet your ass I'm going to wait until March 15th. If for no other reason than to confuse you. What's the great toast? Confusion to your enemies.
He's a master.
Oh my God. And
he knows.
If you're right, the heads are going to blow up. It's just going to be insane. If we thought they were spoiled children kicking and screaming in a Walmart, aisle 3 at Walmart in 2016, we ain't seen nothing yet. But the good news is all those folks are against the Second Amendment, and all of us are armed. So
that's right.
Talk about having your narcissism take over your brain. We're going to attack all those people who believe in the Second Amendment. Oh, are you? It's like bringing a bologna sandwich to a gunfight.
Bologna sandwich. Well, man, what do you think? What do you think Johnny Cash would say about all this?
I think he'd be with me. I think he'd totally us. I think he'd be writing a song about if every vote counts, then count every vote. Ooh.
There you go.
Every vote counts, then count every vote. Yeah, I think he'd be on the side of patience. Because what do they say? It ain't over until it's over, and it ain't over till the fat lady sings. Well, The left says the fat lady has sung, and the right says the fat lady may be in the limo out in the parking lot, but she's on the way in. She's not on the way out. Okay. So, hang on. And my gosh, Andrew, have you tried to make any sense of anything that Biden has said in the last couple of days?
No. Or the last few months, even.
This is a man who cannot, I mean, in any other world, at any other time, you're too young to remember how sorry people felt when Ronald Reagan started losing his ability to speak and started, his dementia started kicking in, his Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say? I can't remember which one it was, but it was sad. And, if Biden hadn't spoken out of both sides of his mouth for his entire career, he would be someone who we would feel sorry for him.
Mm-hmm.
Right now. We would be incorrectly, I believe, but because we are basically nice people, we would be calling him a statesman who is obviously now frail and unable to put a sentence together.
Yeah.
Instead, they're calling him president-elect. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it is.
The only good thing that's happened in the last couple of weeks with regard to that side is, for some reason, thank God, Kamala Harris hasn't said anything
yet,
and has not. Apparently, she hasn't given up her Senate seat yet either.
No, I read that the other day. I thought, oh, what's up with that? Because she knows.
Maybe she knows. Well, she's just not.
It's not over yet.
Smarter. Maybe she's smarter than.
Yeah.
Than,
maybe.
The only good thing that can be said about, in my opinion, the only good thing that can be said about them is they have the strength of their ignorance. They're going for it with everything they don't have.
Yep, that's true. I asked about what you think Johnny Cash would say because, I love that. Stand on it, right? Red, white, blue.
You bet.
There you go. You lived with Johnny Cash after y'all filmed Stagecoach, didn't you?
I did. Yep. Johnny and I were great friends, and somewhere in here I have a picture of John and I. But I think he'd be talking just like you and I are talking.
Me too.
Yep. He'd wonder. I think he would wonder how they could be so stupid as to be claiming what they're claiming before time. You don't open the oven to look and see if your souffle is almost ready because you hurt it. You kill it when you do that. So I think he would be marveling at their arrogance. And in so doing, he would believe, as I believe, that their arrogance is what's going to ultimately blow up in their face and make it so none of this was worthwhile.
Yeah,
that's my feeling about what Johnny would feel.
And I think Waylon would be right there with us too.
Yeah, I think so. But Waylon, I think, is a little more. Waylon was a little more pragmatic.
Yeah,
I think Waylon would weigh both sides, and Waylon would talk about to what degree the masses have been coerced or fooled into believing it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think Waylon would do more math.
Yeah.
Johnny would go get a shovel. Okay, come on. I think Chris might be on the other side.
Yeah, but Willie is too.
Big shock to me. How in the world Willie could have come out for Biden? I just don't understand.
Well, he was an Obama, guy. But I was telling somebody the other day, talking about Willie and Chris and those guys. They don't have this obsession with, if you don't believe the way that I believe, I wish your family would die. You know,
Right. Yeah.
they want everybody to love each other. I don't know what that's. I don't know where that came from. All this animosity. You know, it's crazy. Um,
Yeah. I don't understand the belief, and I think that's a fairly new one. I've watched it get worse over the years here, but again, I guess it's a gross generalization, but I don't think people on the right. Of course, we think we're right, but we
mhm.
don't think you're a terrible person for disagreeing.
Yeah,
Uh, we wonder how you could,
yeah. It's like a
but we don't say. My friends on the left start their sentences with things like, "Come on, John, you know you're smarter than that,"
right. Yeah,
or "Be an idiot,"
yeah,
or yeah, which is it's unfair. It's not they have the right to say that, they have the right to
yeah.
think, but I think just our nature is different,
I think
um,
so.
and I'm not sure. I'm not sure why that is. Um, I mean, my mind has been changed about a lot of things over the years. I'll hear some new piece of information, new news, or someone will say something. Will have their heart on their sleeve. Uh-oh.
Where you got?
And all of a sudden I'll go, well, I never thought about it that way. Um, but a lot of my left friends and just are nasty about it.
Yeah,
Mean, mean, mean.
got
Hey,
got a
Tyler,
ghost in there.
would you do me? Hang on one second. Ed. Would you do me a favor? And I just realized the light is on in the projector, and that bulb doesn't last all that. I think that it's the white clicker in there. Hit the blue button twice. Yes, sir. Hey,
Got it down.
I think it just turned on. I don't think that's been up there this whole time.
It hadn't. I thought it was like a window, the sun coming through the window or something. You move the phone. I don't know. I didn't notice. I have to go back and look.
There.
It's off now.
I'm hit it one more time, I think. Ah, I'm not sure. But anyway, it looks like a disco light. There we
It
go.
does. You told me a really cool story one time about when Waylon finally came to do the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh,
About the note in his pocket.
he had the little boy's note in his pocket, in his wallet. Yeah. First time I met Waylon, we were doing ADR, automated dialogue replacement. And he came in to do well, the boys didn't know. And we had not met yet. And I went to introduce myself, and he said, "Oh, hang on a second, Hoss." He'd called everybody Hoss. That was his, if he doesn't know your name, he calls you Hoss. If he did know your name, he called you Hoss. But he said, "Hang on, a little fella gave me this," and he pulled his wallet out and pulled a little piece of paper out. And he said, "Little fella asked me to give this to Bo, and I want to make sure I do good on it." And I said, "When was that?" He said, "Oh, about 4 or 5 months ago." He had saved this little piece of paper this whole time, and then he finally gave it to me. And I thought that was really spoke volumes about Waylon's integrity and his value for his fans, his love for his fans. So that was pretty great. And that was 1979. And there was nobody bigger in the world than Waylon Jennings at that point.
Yep.
So it was quite wonderful that he did that.
And they actually filmed the opening sequence where he's with his Telecaster that day, right?
I think it was that day, or it was the next day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had they set up a sheet. We were shooting in a junkyard in, I think, Northridge, California, and they put up a sheet. And it's like, what's that all about? And then there was Waylon in there playing that. That was pretty cool. Nobody knew what any of that was yet because nobody had seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember first time I saw the General Lee, it was sitting next to Daisy's Roadrunner, and I thought, gosh, I hope the Roadrunner's our car, because that big
My God.
had the kind of a Starsky and Hutch red tomato stripe on it, the black stripe.
Oh man.
Road,
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if that had been reversed?
No,
Oh
now,
man,
of course, now the General Lee being the
man,
arguably famous car in the world ever, uh, is pretty great. Pretty great. Chargers were easier to find than Roadrunners, which I think ultimately is why we use the Charger.
yeah.
They make as many. I think they made the '69 Charger. I think they made in Hamtramck, Michigan. I think they made 300,000 there alone.
Mm.
So people say, "Oh, Dukes of Hazzard, they've destroyed the Charger." I say, number one, you wouldn't care if there wasn't Dukes of Hazzard. You wouldn't care about a Charger. And number two, we wrecked 330, 329 Chargers in 7 years, and they made 300,000 of them at
Mm-hmm.
least.
Yeah.
So just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop.
Whose idea was if you remember, whose idea was the horn?
Oh, that was an accident. That was we were filming at the Boar's Nest. High Octane is when I had on the brown corduroy outfit, and a young man drove by in a ranchero or something, and blew his horn, and it was the Dixie horn. And we had two executive producers. One of them, Paul Picard, grabbed a van and a Teamster and chased the guy down and bought the horn from him because he thought that'd be great to have on the General Lee. So I think they put that horn on one car and that was it. The rest of it was recorded and they would just put it on there later.
Yeah.
But I do remember, I can see him in my mind's eye. I can see him racing down the street there in Social Circle, Georgia, chasing after this guy in an El Camino or a Ranchero or whatever it was. And he bought the horn off of him.
Wow. How about that?
Great. Yeah.
Have you been back there?
Get a horn like that is the J.C. Whitney catalog.
Oh yeah.
They still have them and you can still get them there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you been back to those filming locations any just for shits and giggles over the years?
Yeah. Alicia and I went to the Boar's Nest maybe 2 months ago, maybe not even that long ago.
Oh, really?
2 months before we did the Save the Small Town drive-in tour.
Mm-hmm.
We were there. We were in Covington, checking out the square. It was beautiful, and looked at some of the locations. Tried to find some that are gone, been built over. So it's fun. I'm a fan of all that too.
Yeah. There's some folks on YouTube that have went and found the exact. I mean, even in where the car jumps over this certain hill, I'm like, how in the hell do y'all find this?
There, you can still see that spot where the General Lee first took flight. We went to the college where the first jump over the cop car was. So it's pretty great. People are still searching. We did a little YouTube thing. I didn't keep up with it because we don't live there, but I think it was called Finding Hazard. But like you said, I mean, a lot of people have done that. So there's a lot of footage out there already about people who've hunted down Hunting Hazard, and have taken people there. Travis Bell did a great video about that. Travis Bell. So check that out, folks. I think he has a YouTube channel, and there's some great stuff on there.
How many of those original General Lees have you owned over the years?
Oh, I never. I would buy cars and sell them back to Warner Brothers, but I never owned. I never bought any of them back. There wasn't anything left. They were junk.
Yeah.
But I did my 511 Hemi I had years ago is the one we used in the Reunion movie.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was Hazard in Hollywood. Might have been the first one. Not sure, but that was my car.
Okay.
So I rented it to them, and then I, of course, got that back. So that's as close to an original. But really, you wouldn't want an original unless somewhere in the world it got restored after that, because we really were rough on them, and they really did not look all that great in person.
Yeah.
No, they were rode hard and put away wet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The hood You did get one of the original hoods from, is it from the pilot episode?
The roof, I have the roof because I had that
The roof, that's right.
cut the roofs off, and I got one from my dad. So my dad had that in his upholstery shop for years, and then when he passed away, I got it back, and that's hanging up at Shirley's. When you see my YouTube videos, and there's the big rebel flag, the General Lee rooftop on behind my head, that's right up there, in what used to be my mom's living room.
Wow. Did Warner Brothers give that to you, or did you buy it from them later?
Oh no, they did. They just gave it to me, but it wasn't Warner Brothers. It was the Valuze brothers who made the cars.
Okay.
Really doesn't, not that they don't exist, but Warner Brothers is a company.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't anybody in there that would say, "Oh, I'm going to give John the roof to the."
Right.
Trying to find somebody at eBay or they don't really exist.
Yeah.
There really isn't an Amazon. It just kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got a hold of that. And then afterwards, there's a lot of cars that sat around for years. And then a guy named Wayne Wooten, my understanding is that he was out in California and saw all the cars out in a field. I think there were 13 or 14 cars, and he bought them all from the Values and then culled them down and made 7 or 8 out of the carcasses.
Wow.
But those were cars that were ready to be used should we have an 8th season. Or 1 or 2 of them might have been left over from the 7th season. So it depends on your definition as to whether or not you would even call those the original cars, because we probably never used them because we didn't have any.
Yeah.
But they were made by the right people in the right place with the right parts and the right color.
Yeah.
So they were as close to original as humanly possible. So I was glad when Wayne did that. That's been a long time ago now. So folks who have the Wayne Wooten cars, I think it's safe to say that those are real.
The funny thing is, I didn't know until you told me you were actually in the first Smokey and the Bandit movie.
I was. I'm just at the end. But I talked my way onto the set, skipped school, talked my way onto the set, got breakfast and hair and makeup. And at the very end, because they didn't know what to do with me, at the end of the day when they were shooting, the last thing they did was Jackie Gleason driving off in it was a 76 Eldorado. No. Bert's in the 76 Eldorado. Jackie's in the cop car. He takes off after him and the wheel falls off and rolls into the crowd and hits this tall 16-year-old in the shins. And he's wearing a cowboy hat and a jean vest. And that's me. And then the frame freezes and the credits roll. So that was my claim to fame. But really, the fact that I was 16, skipped school, climbed a fence, found some guy with a radio, tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I'm sorry I'm late, but traffic on I-85 is a bear. Where's hair and makeup?" The fact that I had the balls to do that and got away with it is pretty cool. It was a friend of mine and I, a guy named Richard Jensen, and I did that. So I think it's pretty great.
Did you talk to Jackie any that day?
All day.
Really?
Yep.
I love Jackie Gleason.
And I'm from Mount Kisco, New York, and I think he was living in Peekskill, which is the same county.
Wow.
They're both Westchester County. But we talked a lot. It was cool. He never got up. He just sat in his chair and waited to go do the scene and drank beer all day.
What kind? You remember?
I don't know. He had a kid with a radio flyer wagon with ice in it and a keg of beer.
And he's from New York? That sounds like Alabama.
Well, doesn't it?
Yep. Man. And then you got to know Burt Reynolds over the years. That's actually why you wanted to make Stand on it as a tribute.
Yep. Burt and Hal Needham, who wrote and directed Smokey and the Bandit, was a real good friend of mine. And we developed a couple of movies and television shows that we couldn't sell. In those days, I thought you had to play the game by developing something and selling it to a studio. It wasn't until 2006 I realized, screw that. I'm just going to make my own movies. And I made Collier and Company in 2006. And then when I met Alicia, we've exploded. We've done what we want, when we want, with whom we want. And one of the things I've always wanted to do was pay tribute to Smokey and the Bandit. And both Bert and Hal, we talked at many, many occasions about there really isn't anybody waving the Southern horsepower flag anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When that was such a tried and true genre back in the 70s and 80s, none of us could figure out why they weren't making them anymore.
Yeah.
So it was kind of up to us, and they're both gone.
Yeah.
It's up to me. Find a fancy car, put somebody in it that drives it like nobody else, and make a movie about it. And that's what Stand On It is. It's fantastic. I'm very proud to stand on it.
Yeah, I think old Bert and Hal would give you a good nod to that, man. That was nobody's ever tried to do that. Nobody's ever done that. So
well, it's like a great song. There's a tricky recipe to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be funny. It's got to be fast. It's got to be believable. It's got to have. It's got to almost be slapstick, but not quite.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you get into slapstick stuff, it just gets silly, and then it makes everything else unbelievable, which then culls down to not believing the guy driving the car is really that good at it. When you watch Burt Reynolds in Smokey and the Bandit, it was like, that son of a bitch can drive a car like nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Then Bo came along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't Tom.
Bo's driving the triple black. Although in Stand On It, it's a Challenger because I'm a Mopar guy. So I'm a Pontiac fan. I love the Trans Am. I think that's one of the sexiest cars ever. But I'm a Mopar guy. So we used a Challenger and took a Sawzall and cut T-tops in it.
That's how we do it in Louisiana, isn't it?
Our redneckedness showing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, you can redneck a lot of stuff up, and it works forever.
It just
That's what
gets
people
better.
don't realize.
Ooh, just gets better when you redneck it.
There you go. We're all time. Yeah, that's the kind of flag that needs to be waved right there.
Yep. No, I'll give
That's
equal
the flag.
time.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Right there.
Love it.
We're always texting song ideas back and forth, and I've got like a list of stuff, and we've wrote some together on there, and you've recorded some of my songs, and just been real generous and kind with your words about. I mean, I've heard you talk about me and other things, and you invited me and Dana to the Opry that night and talked about me there and did Stone on the One. So I appreciate y'all's friendship and everything you've done. We really don't talk about this kind of stuff, really. Me and you don't.
No,
I mean, we've talked about Johnny Cash a little bit, but so it's kind of cool to talk to you about some of the old stuff,
Well, okay, I've enjoyed it.
I mean, that's a weird thing, and like when you're doing these things, and people are talking about, you start thinking about how long ago it actually was. Is that weird?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had people up at the store looking at, I said, I took this picture in 1978. 88, 98, 2008, 2008. God.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago. Doesn't seem like it, though. In many regards, some of that stuff seems like 100 years ago, and some of it seems like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's the nature of memory. You kind of stack things on top of one another and you pull them out. We don't have a date on things like we do with in our computer. But it's been great. I wouldn't change anything. And in many regards, with like Stand on It, I feel like I'm just really finally gaining traction. Um, and then I'll hear things, John Wayne had a career spanning 50 years. I'm thinking, well, shit, I've had a career spanning 42.
Mm-hmm.
Eight's not that far away, and I'm just getting started. So
Yeah.
I see one of my dogs running through she's up to no good. But yeah, I've had a great time, and there's even greater times coming up. Folks, if you have not seen Stand on It yet, come on, get a hold of Stand on It, support independent thought. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I promise you'll enjoy it. If you like Smoking the Bandit, if you like Dukes of Hazzard, you're going to love Stand on It. There's just no two ways about it. So get a hold of it, either rent it through cineflixdod.com or buy the DVD at johnschneiderstudios.com. And get a hold of the soundtrack too. It's pretty great. Pretty great.
And you're on every social media channel, basically, right?
I am, yeah, but I do Facebook and YouTube more than the others, just because for some reason, Twitter doesn't make any sense to me, and I'll post on Instagram, but basically what I post on Instagram are swipe up links to Cineflix and to the store.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to make it easy. Or if you really want to make it easy, get a hold of my app. It's called John Schneider. There's a music button on it. There's a movie button on it. There's a store button on it. There's a tour schedule button on it. So it's the easiest way to find out what's going on and when is just get a hold of the app. And then you can get movies, you can get Christmas cards, and something's going on out there because my dogs are all running around.
Well, you've got fans outside the gate there at Miss Shirley's, I guess.
Well, maybe that's it.
Good to see you, man.
I appreciate it. Love the little song you played in the beginning.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, why not?
Why not, man? I appreciate you doing it. Good to see you again. And
good seeing you. We'll get you out when we start up the drive-in tour again. We got to get you out there to sing a couple songs.
Yeah, man.
All right.
All right.
All right. You take care. Somebody else. There's people walking all the way through here. All right. You take care of yourself, everybody. Happy New Year. Remember, you're key. Don't forget it. All right. Bye.
I appreciate y'all listening to Picking It Out, and we'll see you next time.